Hello, welcome to Media Dialogues. I don't know about you, but I'm really feeling full on that party vibe that December brings. Now, there's just so much to do. Lit fest, music concerts, stand-up comedy, spoken word festivals, magic shows, motivational speakers, plays, restaurants, food fest. Whatever your interest, you're probably spoiled for choice. Now, don't forget, it's also the first normal year post the pandemic. For nearly 2 years, live physical entertainment was shut with a devastating impact on the business. But that seems to be in the past as people are going out with a vengeance. So what are the key trends that are emerging? How is ticketed entertainment doing? What are the growth prospects as we head into a new year? Those are just some of the questions I'm going to be putting to Shreyas Srinivasan of Paytm Insider, Roshan Abbas, founder of Kommune and Experience, and Jairam of Hyperlink Brand Solutions. Gentlemen, it's lovely to have you all here, and I'm going to start with the guys in the studio, Shreyas. So you're going to have to wait because you have the advantage of being in Goa, isn't it?
Happy to wait.
Okay. Roshan, flashback, September 2020. We were doing this conversation via Zoom, and we were talking about just how difficult it was for your business and the sector, right? What has 2022 been? Because we are, December, this is the highlight of the events and the live entertainment business, isn't it?
So I think what that 2-year gap did was it put a pause on people's passion and needs, and I think it all just accumulated. So the day things opened up, it wasn't a trickle, it was a spate. We didn't have one show, we have multiple shows happening on the same day. Corporates who had put aside marketing budgets came back with a vengeance to spend. India has still been on a growth trajectory, unlike so many other global countries. And I think for that reason, there has been an appetite that is really needs to be whetted by, everyone's keen now to satiate that. What's also happened is that I think in the 2 years of the gap that we had, people became a lot more closer to their own passions. See, it gave every individual time to say, you had more me time. And in that me time, you discovered what you wanted to do, whether it was yoga, whether it was health, whether it was baking, right? I mean, remember Dalgona coffees and all the rest of it, So you had all of that. And also your relationship with the arts became a lot more because they became, loneliness is a big issue. So that became the rise of intimate music, as we call it, singer-songwriters happened because you didn't have big productions.
You needed that nurturing, isn't it?
You needed that nurturing, you needed that connect. And now that that connect has happened, look at what happens post that. Lucky Ali is performing in Goa in a small cafe. He walks on that and it resurrects the man's career. He did a 20-city tour, sold out. He was performing in Dubai, I remember, at the Expo. Multiple private shows were going on. Every concert finds its audience. And also, I think the other thing that has happened is over the last couple of years, we as promoters have also evolved to say, we don't just need to do Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore.
Jairam bears out, I saw you nod completely through his answer. So what are you seeing it? Because we just, for people in Mumbai, Arijit just performed and I heard lots about this. I want you to sort of leap off from where he left off.
No, I think just to take off from what Roshan was saying, I think, yes, definitely, the whole experiential and live entertainment industry has bounced back and how. But I also feel it's got to do with one important aspect that 2 years of sitting in front of a screen has really, made people want to go out and experience. That whole touch and feel had not happened. And another big trend that we caught on to is the fact that there is a huge resurgence in indie pride. We are seeing that the consumer, the millennials, the Gen Z, they are really absorbing and buying tickets for Indian acts, right? So you are seeing that trend which normally where, people would probably sell 500 or 1,000 tickets, you're suddenly seeing those level of artists sell 3,000 or 4,000 tickets. So that is also kind of playing culturally.
And this is not just music, or are you talking specifically in music?
Across, whether it's music, whether it's comedy. I'm saying there's a little bit of, the pride about, the regional music, there's pride about the local artists, and also the fact that if you look at an international trend, not too many international artists are coming yet because they are still trying to make up for all the money that they lost in the COVID years and they are busy trying to fulfill the demand in their own markets. I think the magic or the big revelation has been that today there are indie artists who can sell, take a Pratik Kaur for example, you know, he's selling 5,000 to 6,000 tickets, you know, on the go.
But he's not in, he's on a much higher league, isn't it? This is the guy Obama endorsed on Twitter, and this is the guy the Gen Z, you know, kids have been going
I must tell you the best thing that I read. Somebody said the Jagjit Singh of the millennials in English. Heart, every song is about love.
Pratik Kaur is a Jagjit Singh of his generation.
Let me give you another very interesting data point that just happened in Thane, you know, which is just, you know, a sister city of Mumbai. And there was a music festival, I think Sparks promoted it. There were 8,000 tickets that got sold. So, and they were all Indian acts. Or for that matter, if I can proudly say that when we brought back Independence Rock, you know, and rechristened as the Mahindra Independence Rock, we sold out 4,500 tickets a day. You know, and these are all Indian acts, and these are high quality. And what is the key thing that one needs to also understand is that the Indian acts have really come of age in terms of the sound quality, in terms of production, in terms of what they're performing, you know, what they're putting out.
Shreyas, Paytm Insider, tell us what the past year has been. Share some of the highlights.
I think in the live industry, what the pandemic showed us that we couldn't match this experience of touch and feel and camaraderie, which being at an event gives you. We couldn't match that digitally, right? And that's sort of like both the failure and success of a digital person like me. We tried, but we really couldn't make that digital experience real enough for people to connect and have that shared experience. I use that word a lot, shared experience at an event where you're standing with 10,000 people and it feels like you're all in this together. The second thing which happened in the pandemic is the creator economy, right? I think the creator economy has literally grown 15-fold in the last sort of 2-3 years because people had access to time. So they ended up consuming, following, becoming fans of a lot more creators across India. And we are seeing that trend sort of boil over into live entertainment today, where all of those creators, one of their ways to monetize is real life experiences, is events. And they're all building events with partners like I work very closely with both the gentlemen in the studio, and together we are building this ecosystem where any creator can easily put up an event without having to worry about all the hassle of putting up the event. That's what we are for. You literally see sort of like people move to two ends of the spectrum. There's going to be massive digitization with things like AR, VR, and you're going to consume more and more and more digitally, which feels like real life. But that's going to increase the demand for real life even more. People are going to say, okay, there's always limits of this headset. There's always limits. Like this headset's never going to feel like a hug, right? And I want that experience from a headset to a hug. And I think like that's why this will become more premium. This will go to more cities because people don't work in Bombay anymore. People like me have moved to other cities, right? There are lots of people like me who now very soon you can do a huge concert in Agra because there's a lot of people who moved from Delhi to Agra.
Right.
A lot of people in Jaipur. So what the pandemic has done is fundamentally shifted the entire country in a way, and I think this industry's come out better for it.
So, you know, when I read the FICCI Frames report that comes out at the start of every year, Roshan, it says that the live entertainment industry is half the size that it was in 2019, and a full recovery to those levels is probably a year away still, right? What do you make of that? Because I heard a quote where I think they quoted you saying that it's a hockey stick recovery. So give us a sense of the scale of this business today.
So see, they were roughly at one point in time, they were saying it's roughly going to be about 10,000 crores. But now when it has reduced, and at one point it was as low as 3,000 crores, and it's very understandable because if nothing is happening live, what you're doing is equivalent to broadcast. And you know, and Zoom doesn't make for an event. What has happened is that very often these reports, you know, I mean, there's that famous quote, right? There are lies, damn lies, and statistics. So these statistics end up coming from 30 or 40 event people who you've spoken to. We have, for the longest time, said that there is a real need to relook at just our industry because yes, there is organized entertainment, but apart from that,
and this figure is for organized entertainment. What they have put out and what you're saying is small.
But if you first just look at just the sector of organized entertainment, which has concerts, corporate, etc., which takes place, that by itself, I think, is a 3x growth minimum is what is predicted to happen from the base.
Yeah.
But at a very recent convention, at the EMA convention, which I was the president of, a couple of months ago, a consultant from a very well-known, from EY, in fact, turned and said, you can add a 0 to any number as long as you really just go into this business. And it's true. So that 3,000 could be 30,000, right? I mean, that 5,000 can be 50,000 if you really just track what's happening.
So you're in December 2022, are you back to 2019 levels for the size of this industry?
I would say, in fact, beyond.
Yeah, I think we are seeing a massive growth. There is no doubt about it. So yes, are we back to 2019? Yes, I would say almost 95%. I would still feel that there is that 5% that can happen, but the reality is also that nobody just has any time. We are refusing work. And it's sad that we're having to do that, because it's just that the industry also, is kind of consolidating itself, because post-pandemic there have been a lot of agencies that have either, shut down, moved out, gone away from that business. So there is a recorrection of a recalibration of that also happening. But I think I would just definitely put my money on the fact that's why we started Hyperlink, right? So I'm just saying that, and I think the event industry is a pretty resilient bunch of people, and honestly, no support from the government. Every other industry is getting support, but we are the ones that fend for ourselves and
no, but even the multiplex guys didn't get support, and they've really taken a very, very hard knock, as hard as you guys have taken, isn't it?
At least
and movies have still not taken off as of December 2022.
So see, the issue was
barring a handful of
they were able to lobby for two things during the pandemic. They were able to lobby for shoots to continue. Right. And for us, even that was not allowed. And we used to keep saying that we are in the business of making people gather safely, properly. So in fact, I remember at the second wave, we actually, as the event industry, got involved in saving lives. Right? Now, putting all that aside, one thing which we all were talking earlier is this thing of saying, because we've been so close to this thing of I may die, everybody wants to live their best life. And in living their best life, in the business that we are, which is of hugs and happiness, right, of shared experiences, as Shreyas so rightly said, everybody is voting with their wallet.
In fact, our strongest focus is on culture marketing and creating cultural movements. That's where the story is, and that's why today I think brands and consumers are really coming together. The convergence is happening, and people are, really looking forward for that. So it's no more about just, sponsoring a particular platform or, just doing a show, but it's about how do we build real bridges with culture, local culture, global culture, and make it an intrinsic part of the entertainment mix for people to consume. That's becoming a very, very important talking point. And I think it's no more a tick mark. Brands are understanding the value of that, and so are consumers.
Shreyas, consumers is the cue to come back to you. Give us a sense of the appetite for ticket pricing, because these gentlemen earlier were explaining to me how in India, ticketing revenues are much smaller than advertising revenues or advertising support for these big, large events. So give us a sense of the consumer appetite in terms of money and what they're willing to pay for these experiences, now that we've established the fact that they want them.
Yeah. So I think it's changed. I think Jairam and me, we just did the Arijit concert in Bombay, and we'd be parry that the ticketing income from that concert more than supported the event much more than sponsorship would, and that's the right trend. So what it is, two things have happened. Ticket prices have gone up, and ticket prices have gone up because by 30-35%.
Okay,
it's gone up significantly. But it's gone up because there is so much demand, and two, I think we've gotten better to give users the great experience. So people who have experienced it before don't mind coming again, because it's sort of like the highlight of their quarter, right? It's the highlight of 3 months going to this massive event. So ticket prices have definitely gone up. Then there is a spread of people who I think are new to the event industry, and this I think is the most healthy, interesting trend. There are a lot of events which are in the range of a movie ticket, which is around 300 to 500 rupees. These events are sort of the gateway for people to enter into experiencing events. And there's a whole section of events who have massive volume. I call them events which basically recreate a mall experience, which is about food, about shopping. And these sort of events have 50, 60,000 people attending them, paying a 300 rupees or a 400 rupee ticket over a weekend. Yeah, that's literally how much a big mall would do over a weekend. And I think we have these two large spectrum of events, both doing really, really well. You have the really high premium, sort of really, really famous artists, and those prices have gone up, but the capacity is sort of the same. And hence, income there has gone up. And then there is really large scale events which are about food and shopping and experiences like that, where we are bringing in a whole new generation of people who have never gone to an event before, for whom going to an event was not a mental model for a weekend.
Pause for a bit because we've got to take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to find out what prospects this industry has in the year that's coming up. So don't go anywhere. Stay with us. You're watching Media Dialogues, and I'm in conversation with Srinivasan of Paytm Insider, Roshan Abbas of Kommune and Experience, and VG Jairam of Hyperlink Brand Solutions. And we're talking about the live entertainment business. I'm curious, does dynamic pricing and those kind of elements and mechanisms come into play in India yet, or are we far away? We are. It's already here.
Yes, already.
I mean, we've been doing it for years. Like, the thing is, dynamic pricing comes in when there's demand. For a long time, when we didn't have demand, having dynamic pricing really helped no one, right?
But it's there now because the demand is there in this manner.
Yeah. So we've been deploying dynamic pricing in IPL since 2016, 17, right? And almost all our machine learning models give anywhere between 20 to 35% lift on total revenue because of dynamic pricing.
No, and also, to supplement that, young people are spending more than 35% of what they earn on experiences. Remember, and Jairam said this so well, that earlier people wanted to save money to buy a house, buy a car, etc. They're not doing any of that. They only want to create memories and have those moments. And in doing
that, it's very much about the moment. It's very much about now.
Just a simple data point that on November 26th, in a small suburb in Bombay, BKC, one street apart, one you have Arijit Singh doing 8 or 9,000 tickets, and the other is DJ Snake doing another 8 or 9,000 tickets. You're talking about almost 20,000 people in just one area, and you could, if I were to just throw a number, I'm sure that cumulatively it's crossed over $2 million of tickets, just tickets, so that's where this demand is gone. People are buying experience. I think they always bought it, but now they're ready to pay top dollar for it.
To add to what Shreyas said, the creator economy having expanded, creators have created culture, and there are culture points that didn't exist.
And created their own audiences.
Exactly. So as I was saying, creator, culture, community. And brands are either coming in the reverse and saying, I want to own X community, therefore what can I do? So they will have managed IPs, which Jairam and Hyperlink are so wonderful at. Or they will come to us saying, oh, you get this particular audience, which I want to dip into.
And then we come and advertise.
And we come and advertise. But even content, see, because we are event creators, we are able to smartly integrate brands into these events.
Sure.
We are able to generate content that lives a digital life later. That is equally an important thing. I keep saying, championing this to brands, saying, build your communities, nurture them through the year, because that's the only way.
So are brands getting it?
They are. They are. Spotify built a great podcasting community. Netflix is working on another, a viewers community in that sense. All Alco-Bev brands have no other option but to do it.
By default.
By default.
But I think brands today are understanding culture, and I think they also understand that it needs to be a more long-term, immersive kind of play rather than very tactical, I'm a sponsor and get out of the story.
And 70% of your revenues are coming from brands, isn't it? From
that's also a slight correction, I would say, that while if you're looking at certain niche IPs or niche pockets, then that would be true, I would say 60-40. But otherwise, pretty much, I would say that the ticket price or the ticket buying takes care of pretty much 60% or 70% of your
And that's a big
cost.
change.
That's a huge change. That's a big change. And like Shreyas said, the ticket buying audience and the premium for those tickets is increasing in a big way.
Right.
And we are seeing that.
Shreyas, the illustrations we're using, and at least for me, the lens is pretty much Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore. But you said you could have things in Agra because a lot of people have moved out. Give me a sense of the pan-India appetite and also any trends that you can see beyond the big metros.
Yeah. So we this year have already done at least a single event in about 168 cities across India.
Wow.
Right? When I took that export, there are a lot of cities that I didn't know where they were. I literally had to go to Google Maps and say, where is this city? And what is fascinating is that cities like Raipur, Ranchi, which are pretty big cities, I mean, they have a few million people, they have started doing events which are doing 30, 40 lakh rupees in ticket sales. And that's unheard of. Like till a few years ago, like a 40 lakh doing anything outside of Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore was really, really difficult, maybe Pune. So we are seeing the same pattern, the same human basic pattern, which we said, that people want to go out and experience, have a shared moment. That's happening in every city, and there's a premium to that experience in every city.
Okay, I'm going to have to close this show. So, Roshan, closing thoughts, anything else to unlock value here? Or are you, this is organic and it's, the engine is with you guys?
I think, see, one important thing is that there has been certain amount of growth in infrastructure as well. But what we must be careful of is that India is a concert and live event market from November to March. After that, suddenly we are restricted because of the lack of big venues. Genuinely, if there's anybody watching, and I think we would both say that, give us those venues, because the appetite is there through the year. But people don't want to go to the punishment that a concert used to be 20 years ago. Right? So if you want a great experience, just give us those properties. They exist. If stadiums can be converted, if large auditoriums can be converted, we can create those experiences through the
Gaming tournaments and all are
big,
big,
they are happening. They are happening. Gaming is happening. Gaming is happening, but there are very few companies that are promoting large format gaming because it requires a lot of infrastructure setup, right? And there are only maybe, while there might be gamers everywhere, to get that kind of infrastructure together is a large cost. So I've seen that being a bit of a problem.
Okay.
I just say this much that, I think the trajectory is fantastic, and I think cultural movements is here to stay. And at least we are looking at, trends from what is available from within India rather than looking outside, and seeing that how we can source all of that and repackage it and bring it to to urban audiences and the way they are consuming it. So in a sense, super producing those experiences, which I think are fantastic, whether it's talent, whether it's artists. And again, it's not only music or theatre, it's also food and beverages. Huge opportunity there. Already there are some fantastic things happening. In fact, Insider just finished the India Cocktail Week, or there is Grub Fest, and all of these things is indication to the fact that there are people willing to spend and buy experiences.
And more people coming. You mentioned Zomaland, that Zomato's, isn't it? So more people getting into this business is good for the market at this point of time.
I think it's just opening up. At the heart of all of this is the experience and the consumer. And as long as we have that experience which is perfect, and you give them a variety to choose from, I think people are here to spend, because this generation, the Gen Z and millennials, are really not interested in saving and buying a car and buying
and the kind of slowing down in the economy that we have been reporting, the kind of inflation figures that we have seen and continue to see, even though that's cooled off a bit, how does this impact consumption in your business?
I think we are in that unique position that people want that live entertainment. They want that touch and feel. They want those hugs and kisses to happen, because I can always catch the movie on Amazon Prime or on Netflix. So that is going to be, so we are going to run that journey
for a while.
I think nothing can replace that experience, that emotional piece.
The one addition to that point I would make is, while they are willing to spend, they are discerning. They will wait. They will wait for every hack in the world to get more value for money. I opened my ticket pricing at a little higher than before with this estimation. I didn't get a response from that audience. I had loyalists who came in. The minute I reduced my price,
You're talking about the Think Fest.
For Spoken Fest.
Yeah, Spoken Fest, sorry.
Right? And for Spoken Fest, because it's a niche festival, we get about 11,000 people or whatever, 12,000 people. But I saw that inertia. Till we didn't announce every act, till they didn't know what time to come, till they didn't know, because we're a 2-day festival, we spread across 10 hours of programming. They want to know everything before they make that choice. And that is very, very important. So earlier, gone are the days of just putting up a poster and saying, phata poster nikla hero type.
So you have a consumer who's willing to pay but wants great value for money.
Absolutely.
And international standards, right? Because now you're exposed to the best.
Absolutely.
Shreyas, I'm going to give you the final word. What's the one thought you want to leave us with as we head into 2023?
I think as an industry, we should focus on building repeatable patterns. I think that always helps consumers. So I fully endorse what Roshan said about the infrastructure. If we have venues where events happen frequently, I think we will have better fill rates on those venues, because consumers are used to going there. That habit is a very useful thing for consumers. Second, I think on the consumption side, I think there's a lot of innovation on financial instruments. Obviously, I also run product for Paytm. So if you look at what's happening on the consumption side, ability to give people easy EMIs, buy now, pay later on tickets, ability for them to finance some of this entertainment consumption easily, I think that's also a big driver in terms of adopting. They don't have to wait for first of the month to buy a ticket. That used to happen a lot. People used to buy for first of the month. So I think those two things it will again be like a force multiplier. Super hopeful. I think we're doing well.
Well, that's a good note to end on. Shreyas, Jairam, Roshan, thank you very much. I'm glad we're doing this face-to-face. Maybe we can ticket this. There's a thought here probably. But thank you very much for watching. Look out for another conversation on Media Dialogues next week. See you then.